All right. Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Hooray, everyone. So excited to be joining you again today. Oh my goodness, what fun. That's all I gotta say. As an emotional journey, which it is, it's been my experience that there's been a lot of intensity. I noticed it coming up within myself, and I noticed it coming up within, well, seemingly within other people, but that's also within myself. So it's really the same thing. There's just like either, you're getting a sense like it's about you or something. Or you're getting a sense that it's about someone else. It's just like really the same thing. And we're all just playing patterns. It's really fun. It's really cute. Like everything is patterned. So whenever you notice an upset feeling or some kind of seeming disconnection, that's a pattern. And you know what's fun is just to call out, that's the pattern. You can even say it's my pattern. Shit, who cares? Okay, someone you're talking to might get offended about it. It could be my pattern. You don't really have a choice in what you say. I'm just throwing stuff out there for fun. That stuff comes out automatically. Okay, so all that, all that is pointing to, okay, what's possible. You could have fun with anything. That's what's possible. You could actually have fun with anything. What is fun? It's authenticity. That's who you are. You are fun. When you're not having fun, it's because you're pretending about something. See, I know that's not easy to see in the moment. Okay, because like I get triggers too. I mean, I know when I say that, you're like, shit. But the fact is that you can have fun. You can have fun with it. And so if you'll just gently lean in that direction, all of your lessons are coming to show you how that's true and how you can allow it for yourself. So the doors keep on opening to this deeper connection and sense of joy and playfulness within the patterns, even within the patterns. So your ability to distinguish between feeling a feeling that's like gratitude or a higher vibration than gratitude, like say a joy, abundance, or you're able to distinguish between one of those and one that's like the opposite of that, which is fear, basically. It could be ingratitude. Could say that ingratitude, not gratitude. That's fear. It's not gratitude, it's fear. So gratitude is the minimum. And if you're aware of the difference between being in gratitude and not being in gratitude, then you're always aware of a pattern that you wouldn't keep if given a choice. And the thing is, you do have a choice. You totally have a choice in that. So you decide whether you're going to make that thing meaningful. Like when a pattern's playing out, well, you acknowledge that it is a pattern. And you know what? It's not, you can identify, like if someone's playing a pattern, like if you're get used to seeing what these patterns are, you're like, okay, they're playing a pattern. If they're playing a pattern, what do they need? If they're playing a pattern, what do they always need? Love, of course. It's a call for love. So you can sense that within yourself, like whether you are extending love or not. And it's not like you're bad if you're not extending love. That's the thing. That's why people are afraid to look. It's not like you're bad if you're not extending love. It's fine. You're aware that you're not extending love. That is fucking awesome. That's going to show you, that's going to open you up so that you can see what you're using to hold against yourself. You're propping up some thought to hold it against yourself. One person expressed to me today how they want to prop up the thought of death. You know, the only reason anyone wants to prop it up is because they believe it's inevitable. So they want to make it beautiful. Okay. So they believe it's inevitable. So they want to make it beautiful. You know, and the thing is, there's no possibility of death. That's an abomination, you can say. It's a falsehood. It's a false picture. It's not our reality. It's a reality that we made with the ego because we thought we didn't deserve our reality. So now that we're perceiving a reality that isn't ours and which we do not deserve, no one deserves sickness or death or any of the other bullshit that goes along with that. Menopause, whatever. Silliness. It's pure silliness. And, you know, we prop it up because thinking that it's inevitable. So we better like learn to like it, right? So what can we do to make this thing beautiful, you know? And a manifestation that denies reality like that is beautiful to what? I mean, that's just gorgeous to the ego. That's that's the best picture ever. It's kind of comical. So it came to me in a flash. It's like, what's propping up this false sense of a world and a society and everything is just this idea that anything can make us sick but our own mind. It's like anything in the thought that anything in the world can make us sick is what will put a sick society into place. And the funny thing is, it has no effect on anyone. Even the society as it's, you know, it has no effect on anyone. It has no real effect on anyone. Okay. Well, even if we find ourselves playing in the society, even if you find yourself wearing a mask, let's say you go shopping and you wear a mask, right? It's like, it really doesn't have an effect because it's projected by everyone as they perceive it for their experiences that they need to awaken from a dream. So it's absolutely perfect. And it doesn't have anything to do with what you seem to do in the dream. That's not what it has to do with. I mean, even if you, let's say you took a vaccine and you wear a mask all the time and you, whatever the thing is, you watch CNN all the time. That stuff doesn't matter. Or you're a total anti-vaxxer, you're out on the street, you're holding signs. None of that stuff really matters. Your roles are just for fun. Whatever you find yourself in, just have fun with it. Is that so hard? But thinking you have a choice makes it hard. I see all the time, man. People are talking about how they made this choice. I made a choice for this. I made a choice for that. No, you pretended you made a choice. And I could tell you're taking that personal. You did not make a choice. You think the choice is for play. That's a play choice. That's a make-believe choice. You didn't do it. You only ever choose between two alternatives. Let's say that sickness and death or eternal life. You only choose between two alternatives in the midst of every perception and every moment, from moment to moment. Okay. So a choice for untruth will make you sad. You'll feel bummed out. You might feel angry. So you don't have to change yourself. You know, that's the misperception. You don't have to change yourself. You're not capable of changing yourself. You know, you believe in what you made. You can't help it. You believe in what you made. So you're just opening the door for your mind to be corrected. This is like training. So you'll allow that correction. You'll relax your judgment. You'll release your judgment. When someone says something like, the only thing that can affect your body is your mind, and you get defensive about that, you start casting judgment about that, just kind of like relax, feel what you feel and relax, and see if you can just like relax around that and let it in. Because, you know, what if it is possible? What if that is the case? What if this is a propped up reality? And you got the sense, you only got the sense that these things were inevitable. And everyone else around you believed you, so it must have been true. Well, you'll see when you get older. You'll see. That's what I used to hear when I was younger. Oh, you know what's funny? It's like I say it's like, because there's no such thing as age, but it's like I'm going to be 50 this year, and I still get that same comment like when I get older. So happen. Just wait until you get older. Then you'll be scared. You'll be really scared. I heard just wait till you have kids and then you'll be scared. Yeah, I went through that, but you know, came out the other side of that. I got really scared. It wasn't because I had kids though. It was just because I set things up to bring up my fear. It was perfect. And finally, like, man, that's not me. It's not. You're not the ego. You know? You're not the ego. Anything that feels upset or says something upset, that's the ego. That's the ego. You're witnessing that upset feeling. You need some compassion for that. Because you're witnessing that upset feeling, and it's up in your perception because you identify with a thought about yourself that isn't true. So the sense of an upset feeling is coming to demonstrate what you want to see, but you thought you didn't want to see, so you tried to cover it up. Or it's all fun and games till someone loses an eye. I love that one. That is a fun one, Natalie. Thank you. Yeah, it's all fun and games till someone loses an eye. Right? That's so fun. You know, what's harder to see, what's definitely harder to see, and of course I can see why, is like, you know, losing an eye is also fun and games. And, you know, I could see why that, I could see why that's the case. I could see why that would be like hard to grasp, hard to wrap your heart around, so to speak. You know, that's fun, and that's part of the fun and games too. That's why there's comedy, you know, you can always have fun. These apparent bodies are really for awakening our minds. They're not for us to use to try to get what we think we want in the world. That stuff is all coming. That stuff is coming. It's the curriculum. Don't try to choose it for yourself. You don't even have a choice. But when you try to choose it, you burden yourself. And when you perceive the choices you make, you judge. So hooray. All right, so I have someone called NC. Okay. Oh, Niall, it's you. Okay. So apparently I have COVID for the second time. That is freaking great. Now I believe there is no COVID. That's awesome. I understand I want to experience this once again and awaken from the dream. As I navigate through this, I told my kids no coming over, no hugs. Now I am coming to a notice that I have no choice. I am not in control. No matter what prevention I do, it does not matter. Very good. Very good. So, I don't know if you guys remember, it wasn't too long ago. It may have been in a bunch of your guys' lifetimes, but when people used to get the freaking flu, we'd love them up, right? Right? Now they get isolated. Isn't that silly? Anyways, I just want to throw that out there. Did I choose this to take time off from everyone and called it COVID. Um, yeah, so there could be a thought like that, like you need space. So when you think that you need something in the world, these sicknesses are like devices that you use. Someone told me today on Facebook that they need to get this sickness for some kind of cleansing. So like if you think you need it for a physical cleansing, then there you are. You know, it's kind of like the universe saying your wish is my command. If you think you need it for something, you're going to get it. Some people think they need it to take time off. They feel victimized in the things that they do from day to day, or they feel victimized by their family, and many times it's like an expression to someone close to you, and you know it's so hidden. Sometimes when I say this, people get really triggered, but it's kind of like saying, look at what you've done to me, to those closest to you. Look at what you've done to me. It's kind of like that too. So there's different reasons, but it's always fear. Like there's different reasons, apparent reasons that you would have for making illness arise. But you know, it all stems from fear, like not knowing who you are. So the illusion crops up to show you that there's something you're not seeing. And so in the moment, you're getting an upset feeling and a reaction to an illusory sickness, right? Like maybe the thought comes like, why am I getting this again, or something like that. Those are all good. You have the experience of that. You experience that sensation, and you watch, just be watchful and be alert, because especially when you think your body is having symptoms, and remember, you only think your body is having symptoms. You do not have symptoms. You cannot have symptoms. It's a projection. So, you know, while you're thinking though that your body is having symptoms, those thoughts resonate with very other low frequency thoughts, let's say, other low frequency thoughts. So yeah, I hear you. I know it's nerve busting time, he's saying, because of the rooster. So hey, Ann, will you see if Tony will bust that rooster out of there? Thank you. Probably around that way. So you're engaged with these low frequency thoughts, and these low frequency thoughts are coming to you at light speed. So this is the time when you're getting a lot of opportunities. One thing about getting the perception that you're sick, you're not sick. That's really big. You're not sick. That's not possible for you to get sick. If I get a perception of you being sick, like I see you with a stuffy nose or a sniffle, or you look like you got a fever or something like that, I know I'm misperceiving. Okay, that's the only difference. I could have the same kind of perception as you, but there's oversight for it. Like I know why I'm getting that perception. Okay, I know why I'm getting a perception like that. I know it's just fear. Okay. So in knowing that, I'm not going to be projecting it onto the person. I'm not going to be projecting it back onto them. So what you're asked to do is just stop projecting it back onto yourself. When you get the sense of that upset feeling and, oh no, I'm sick, or it says I'm sick, you know, you don't really speak, you don't really say anything. It says I'm sick, and it says I'm sick. There's a feeling with that. Okay. So notice what feeling there is, and you'll start to notice, oh, that's not who I am. I'm not really sick. I'm imagining that. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore, so I don't believe I'm sick, but where do I go from here? Yay. I didn't, I think I just said where you go. So hey, if you have more questions about that, let me know. Yay, my son's out there doing something. Thanks, Blaze. You need a few more roosters. Want some? No, I don't. Yogis call it the monkey mind. Nice, Amor. Thank you for joining. So today I have our New Zealand lavender. It's just super soothing. Mm, mm, mm. And you know, really, like I said before, nothing is powerful to affect your mind. Nothing is. So, like with essential oils, you could say they got a suggestion for you, just like everyone else. They got a suggestion for you. You know, you can follow that suggestion or not. That's all. Lean into that or not. Someone asked me, should I not be enjoying then? Should I be not enjoying the illusion since it's illusory? And it's like, no, of course, enjoy. You know, whatever you take joy with, enjoy that. I seem to enjoy essential oils. Started a whole company about it. And then there's fairy woods, which came to me on a silent birthday in 2016. That was fun. It's all woods, and it's inspired by fairies in my yard at Fairyland. I was just relaxing in my yard and I got a sense of fairies. That's how I know there's fairies. I get a sense of them. I get a sense of this computer being here, and I get a sense that we're talking through Zoom and I'm reaching you on Facebook or something. But that's a sense, and it's the same as getting a sense of fairies. It's good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, all wood, all fairy, all the time. Missed you. Hope to be back next month, spring at the latest. No one should do anything. Yay. Thanks, Amor. That's a good one too. Thank you. Thank you again. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the most basic things. I mean, it's always good to have it repeated that no one should do anything. And when I hear the word should, it's just an automatic red flag. It doesn't mean that I condemn the use of the word should. I don't mind it at all. It might even come out of my mouth. But I don't use it in that way. I don't have it in that kind of a sense that it really should happen. Like it's bad if it doesn't or something. It's just the way we use these words as if basically we're capable of doing anything, really. That's what the base level of it is, that we're even capable of doing anything, which is a great big lie and the cause of so much confusion. Okay, that's one of them. The other one is that we can make each other sick. That's another big lie. Actually, you can say it's a little bit true from a different perspective. Okay, there's a little bit of truth to that we could make each other sick. Okay, if we're tempting our brothers and sisters to buy into a scary scenario, for instance, we're influencing them toward illness. If we're tempting them, if we're influencing, kind of like an essential oil is influencing you toward a broader, more peaceful and calm perspective and understanding of the world, okay? And like getting in touch with your divine nature, you can say. In the same way, we influence each other. We can influence each other under the guidance of the ego to buy into fearful scenarios. And you know, the bottom line is nothing is fearful. The thing is, the scenarios that we perceive in the world, the scenarios that we perceive in the world, they're completely meaningless. They are what they are. Okay, they are what they are. Like you can say, okay, there seems to be murderers in the world. Okay, fine. There seems to be There seems to be an agenda to control all the people in the world. Okay, fine. Still, the reality is that that doesn't have any effect on you. In fact, your perceiving it gives you an opportunity to heal the underlying cause of it. That does not mean to pretend that it's not your experience and it's not what you perceive. You know, one person wrote to me and told me that that she gets a bunch of headaches, and she's been doing these affirmations saying, I used to have headaches, but I don't anymore. And like these positive affirmations about not having a headache. And why isn't this working? And it's like, these kinds of things don't work. You know, you got to be with your experience. If there's a headache, you're with a headache. Okay, you're with, and you know, it's not even really a headache. Once you fully get with it, you realize it's not a headache. What you thought was a headache wasn't a headache. But when you go into it, you identify it as a headache. Okay, you identify this throbbing, whatever the sensation is. Seems to be located in the head, probably, since it's called a headache. But wherever it is, take note. It could be somewhere else. You might find out it's not even in your head. Apparently, seems to be in your big toe, maybe. You know, so get the sense of where you're getting the perception of it, and put your attention there. Just put your attention there. And you know, in looking at it, you're kind of opening up to seeing what's behind it. You want to see what underlies that pain, because it's impossible to have pain without a guilty thought being propped up in your mind. It's impossible to have pain. You can get the perception of pain if you're propping up a guilty self-belief right now. That's all. Thank you. Yes, I want to see what's behind this. I see this. So you remove your goal, like you're trying to make your goal getting rid of sickness. I don't know if you are particularly or not, but if this is you, I'm talking to you. You know, if you have your goal to be to get rid of sickness, if that's your goal, then you're not interested in seeing the underlying cause, because that's going to be your primary goal. So, you know, it's up to you to see the sickness, be willing to see the sickness as a means for revealing what caused it. So that's how you're looking at it now. You're not looking at it as, you're like, I welcome this sickness, this apparent illusion of sickness, for as long as it fucking takes for me to see through and realize what's preventing me from waking up from this dream. I'm like, I don't care if this takes the whole lifetime. I'm in no hurry. If I get the perception of another person seem to be laying around, I'm in no hurry for them to get back up. No hurry. You know why? Because there's no such thing as time. And that hurried feeling pushes the healing back. It extends time and pushes the healing away. If you want the healing, don't be in a hurry. Open up to, this could last this whole lifetime. It could last 3 lifetimes. I don't mind, because of what it's revealing to me. It has to be an underlying thought that's a problem. I'm not going to capitulate on that. I don't care how long it lasts. I don't care what it looks like. Okay? Can't get it wrong, can't get it right. Find rest in this. Hooray! Yes. Ah. You shouldn't say should. I love that one. Oh my God. I'm dealing with that so much right now. It's irresponsible of me not to be vaccinated because I'm putting other at risk. Poulet. Oh, I love it, Amor. That is one of my most fun reflections. I freaking adore that. When people are gonna tell me something like that, I'm like, ah, thank you. That's the cutest. I mean, I just so want to give him a hug. I'll ask them sometimes if they want to have a hug about it. Sometimes they say yes. Hope, how do you feel? How do you explain Want me to explain? Okay. Uh, how do you explain all these people having temperatures and feeling sick? What are you saying? I don't know what you're talking about, Lori. Are a bunch of people having temperatures that I don't know about? Oh, you meant to say puke. Well, shit, I don't know what pule means. The Hawaiian word pule. I meant to say puke. Puke? No, puke. Yeah, so Lori, I don't know. People getting, I was talking about, just clarify that for me, okay? I was talking with Tony about, Tony's my husband, in case you didn't know, um, about the sickness thing and people thinking that sickness is contagious. It's like, you know, if people were hoodwinked, the people at some point were hoodwinked into thinking that their bodies are contagious. Like your body is not contagious. Like our thoughts, you could say our thoughts are not really contagious because you know what? We have to consent to take them on. We have to consent to that. And you could say we mindlessly consent to bunch, okay? But they can't really do anything to us. So they're not contagious. Even the mind, it's not contagious. It's not separate, so that like they don't have separate thoughts. Their thoughts are, kind of like a suggestion, that you're getting a sense of someone's mindset, let's say. Whenever we find ourselves in close proximity or even able to think about someone, we're kind of like syncing up with a vibration. And if the vibration is of a certain uh, uh, you know amount of fear, let's say, then it's like a lot of people in the same vibration who have a perception of each other seem to crop up with it, but it's mental. It's totally mental. It has nothing to do with the body. When you bring it back to the mind, you don't have any of this bullshit. Then it's all about helping people to be compassionate with themselves. That's all it's about. That's all it becomes about. Oh, there's all this sickness that going on. Oh, wow. There is a need for compassion, everyone. We need a lot more compassion right now. All right, Lori, back to you. People believing they have COVID and having temps and being sick for a couple of weeks. Yeah. It's just a mental illusion. It's not really possible. Having COVID, having temperatures, feeling uncomfortable, none of that is really possible. Like whenever we feel like we're uncomfortable, none of that is really possible. That is a mental projection. It's like you need to take care of the apparent physical being, and you can't help it. That's just automatic. Really, what's going to prevent you from taking care, from apparently taking care of the apparent physical being is a sense that you're not deserving of that. When there's a taking care of the apparent physical being, that's like it's like a blessing. It's like giving a blessing to God. It's like it's like taking care for the comfort of the being. It's like, no, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and shiver a bunch because I'm having an illusion of being cold. There's going to be a warm blanket. And it's really interesting because I had a doctor, a chiropractor, tell me one time, hey, you know what? You shouldn't be getting cold. You shouldn't be letting yourself get cold because you're of a certain constitution where when you get cold, you get the shit. And I'm like, you get like, and I notice when I get cold, I go like this. I know cold is an illusion. I know it. Still, it's just recognizing that when I get a sense of cold, see, we don't notice our patterns until we notice them. When I get a sense of cold, I also clench up and things go like this. Someone came up and massaged me the other day and they're like, wow, are you tensing up right now? Relax. And like as he massaged me, everything started to relax. It's just like, I'm cold. It's like, like that, So even knowing it's an illusion, it doesn't mean you have to try to like sit there and be all cold and bear through it and everything like that. You allow it for yourself, and automatically, like maybe someone else will even say, hey, you need a jacket, or you might find yourself asking for a jacket or whatever. All the illusion plays out for you. It's just in your thinking about things where you prevent the easiest way of being cared for, even physically and financially and everything else. Okay. You are right the moment someone told me to try this or that, I did and felt so much better, then realized, wait a minute, that is just an illusion. Nothing is happening. Yes, because your mind is powerful to make illusions, but it's okay. If it's okay, like putting a blanket on cannot possibly warm you up. It's just, you just recognize what the fact of the matter is. And the thing is, if you don't seem to have a blanket available, if there doesn't seem to be a blanket available to you, also that's a perception. Watch all of the upset feelings through that. It's not like you have to get the comfort. It's just that you allow it for yourself. I was talking with one friend, and I'm like, look, the intensity, when you have the perception of a body, when you have the perception that you're still going through a life, you're gonna get the sense of intensity at varying degrees all throughout the day. It's just fluctuating. It's just that you're able to be with the intensity to the point where you could be with a lot of intensity and you're enjoying it. It's electric. Like electric. My friend and I were sharing that. Like we feel this electric energy with the intensity, and it's so good. It's orgasmic, actually, and we don't recognize that because we're freaking scared of it all the time. Hooray, I'm enjoying COVID time off for myself, watching TV and lazing around. I would have never done it otherwise. Exactly. So here's the thing. You're not going to need a perception of sickness if you would see how I'm talking about allowing the self-care and gentleness for yourself. You cannot do this. It's not up to you to like get a good self-care regimen where you say, okay, I see, like, watch, I see that every week it seems like I need a day off just to like lay around and just watch the TV and scratch my balls all day, right? There's not anything wrong with that. If you would allow the space for yourself, you might find that you don't have a need for this sickness game. This is just a device that you use to get what you want. So when you start to realize, and this is great, Niall, because you just said it. You're acknowledging that you're enjoying this. So thank goodness I can get this time off. See, this is the way you could get this time off with the least amount of shame. See, you have to be hurting yourself. You have to be hurting yourself. And in the way the ego taught you to think about that is that you have to be hurting yourself if you want any time off. Have you heard of the people who go on vacation and then get the perception that they're sick the whole vacation? They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to get sick during their work time. Not that they're capable of getting sick, but you see, that's a different thing. It's like taking sickness as if it's real and saying, no, I can't get it while I have all this work to do. But since, you think you have to get it because you think you're guilty, so you deserve punishment, you got to get that punishment somewhere. It's going to be on your vacation. Sorry about that. Amor says, okay, I pay good money to get rid of my hand going numb from carpal tunnel syndrome and the bunion in my right foot. If I die of COVID, so be it. And she says, you haven't been to Alaska, have you? You know what? I have no desire to go to Alaska. I have no desire for that. I mean, if I found myself there, then I would be having lots of healing opportunities. I'm sure of it. And I would be very grateful for that. But I can say that I have no desire to go there. I used to get bad migraines. I don't anymore. They were teaching me to slow down. Good job. Oh, wow. What a wonderful, wonderful teaching. Caused by milking a cow. You'd love it. I'm sure I would love it. I'm sure I would. Oh, wow, Amor. Good. What a beautiful teaching. You are right. Learning that lesson. Nice, Nael. Can always relax more. Scratch and sniff. Leave it to Glenn. Yeah, don't just scratch your balls, sniff them too. It's more relaxing. You know, you learn that from that movie. What's that movie? Where she smells her armpits and then she goes, and then she calms down. Like that helps with her anxiety. She totally just like, she gets all anxious. She goes, you guys probably know. Someone will tell me the name of the movie. I think Anne wants to watch it. Okay, Natalie had a nasty earache that was so friggin' painful, and it was so cool because my compassion for others increased exponentially, because I'm like, well, I know this isn't real, but man, the people who experience pain and don't, I even let go of all blame toward my mom for checking out at age 47 from cancer, because I was like, oh, I get it. She just got tired of being in so much pain, so she left. Like I let go of taking it personal. Huge teaching in the earache. Wow. What a wonderful share, Natalie. Thank you so much. That is so good. Oh my gosh. So do you guys see that? She got a really painful earache, and so it showed her that she was holding blame against her mom. This is the kind of thing that'll hurt you. Okay? It's the only thing that can attack your body. That's the only thing that can attack your body, is when you're projecting judgment, you're holding blame, okay, or you're holding on to shame or something. So that's an example of what a sickness opportunity can reveal to you, okay? So you can be glad about it. Like, look at Natalie, there's a gratitude for it. There's a gratitude for this very painful earache that's not even really there. We know it's an illusion. And in knowing it's an illusion, you can be in gratitude with it. And in that, look at stuff just gets revealed to you and you're like, ah, and you release and you're grateful. You forget about all that pain of that earache, because the relaxation and the release is such a better place than where you were. It's like a new plateau. No, Amor, you're not commenting too much. You're fun. You're fun. You're fine. Okay. Yeah, girl. So here's another one, missing. Okay. People miss for different reasons, or they think they do. They really don't, but they think they miss for different reasons. I've heard thinking that they missed out on the relationship of their lifetime. Imagine that dreadful feeling. Oh my gosh. Say you're like, let's say you're like my age, like you're like 50, and you're like, oh, I am over the hill or something, and now you're like you're got like going into your whatever age, and you don't have a partner. No, there was that guy from when you were in your 30s, and he would have made such a good partner, but you just didn't want to be with him at that time. You're too picky or something. That kind of a story. See, people don't realize how that kind of stuff hurts yourself. It's not true. There's a big reason why you don't find yourself with them right now. There's a big, huge reason why you find yourself not with that person right now, because you have no teaching and learning opportunities for each other. That's it. I don't care what the scenario was around it. Okay. I don't care what the scenario was. I don't care if he like had sex with your cat and that's why you broke up with them. You know, the only reason the two of you aren't together is because you don't have teaching and learning opportunities to share with one another. Okay. The stories are completely meaningless. Another one, oh my gosh, I'm suffering because I'm missing my child. No, you're not. Okay, you're putting value on the body of the child. All right. In the dream, every body is configured in perfect proximity of each other for maximum healing to occur. That's where they are. That's where they find themselves, in perfect proximity for maximum healing to occur. When you put value on bodies, you think that you need to be in closer proximity to a body. Like your body should be closer proximity to that body, and it causes suffering. It's based on unreality. You actually wouldn't rather be dreaming it any other way, because the way it is the way it's perfect for you and for the child. So take care of the sense that you miss. Just take care of the sense that you miss something. That sense is a sad sense. It's a sense of lack. It's based on unreality. It is sickness. It's the same as Natalie's earache. If you'll go into it, it'll be very revealing. And you know what? That's kind of like nipping it in the bud for physical symptoms. It's kind of like saying you're taking care of it before it's made into a physical symptom, if you'll take care of it on the emotional level. Okay, it's more subtle. That's all. You didn't get it on the subtle level. Okay, you need it on the more gross level. Gross is a good word for it. Gross, sick, but it's all sickness. I mean, the upset emotional feeling also stems from sickness. Okay. Never too late. You look younger than me and you're 10. Well, thank you for looking at me like that. I appreciate that. Sex with your car. Yeah, or sex with your car. That would be kind of the same. Yeah, I said cat. Yeah, it wouldn't make any difference really. It's kind of the same, only the car is gonna have a bigger hole, you know. It's all for play, you guys. Yeah, that sniffing the armpits girl, that's a Saturday Night character, Saturday Night Live character. Maybe your name's Molly something, but there's a movie and it might have been something Superstar. I remember her always going Superstar. So a friend was sharing with me the other day that he feels really comfortable around me because he can feel like he can be himself. And I'm thinking that probably the reason why he feels like he could be himself is because I feel like I could be myself, you know. So it's like allowing yourself to be however you are, like the letting go of the image. I love to actually love to express something that's different from the image that's expected. That's so fun. That is so fun. I had one, well, I still have this really good friend, but I didn't know her at the time, so it was really different. But she would read my posts on Facebook, and this is before I would come on video. So she would read my posts on Facebook, and I guess she thought they were really spiritual or something. So she wanted to meet with me. And when she met with me, she was super surprised because she expected someone who was really serious, and she expected like a certain look and a certain this and a certain that. And it's like, and it's like we do tend to try to look a part or be a certain part, like what would this be like, what would this kind of person be like. And one of the the movie is Superstar, and it's Molly Shannon. Thank you, Nael, good job. What was I just talking about? I was so excited to see that. Yeah, the image. So, it's like getting out of this idea that we need to have a certain image to be spiritual, because what people are doing is following a spiritual practice or something like that, it becomes about the image. And that's where we build kind of like inauthenticity. I had one friend come up to me. I was at this really, like, they meant to make it a really nice gala, and it was really nice. It was a really nice gala. It was for charity. So they were serving a dinner there, and it was going to be a vegan dinner, which, if you know me, I'm not a vegan eater at all. I'm not going to like identify with anything, but I'm not much of a vegan eater. Let's say I don't really like vegetables or a bunch of nuts or anything like that. So, so, so I go there and I'm completely like satisfied. I don't need any food. I know this is a vegan thing. I don't know what's going to go down. So I get the food and I'm amused at every single course on how terrible it is to me. Absolutely. I get the salad. It's got no dressing. Okay, it's got, everything's local, but I guess there's no local dressing. So it's just some lettuce and some sprouts and stuff. And then I get the next and the next course, and it's just like, equally like, oh my God, shockingly bad, but in a playful way. Like, I don't mind at all. So my friend comes to me like a week later, and she was helping put it on. She's like, what did you think of the food? And I was like, oh my God, that was the funniest fucking thing ever. That was like, it was like the food was like the comedy of the event. She's like, what? You didn't like the food? I go, I barely ate any of the food. I took taste of all of it, and it was all terrible until it was the dessert. Vegan dessert, I guess you can't get it wrong. That was freaking good. But I was going through each course and telling her why. I'm like, yeah, when you get a lasagna and then you bite into it and it's sweet potato, it just leaves something to be desired. So my friend's like, wow, everyone I talked to was raving about the food, how the food is so good. And I go, they're bullshitting you. Okay. They're bullshitting you. Okay. There was also a speech before it about how this was the best food you could be eating because it's all local and it's all this and it's all that, but also a speech before it. So it's like, yeah, it's like there's like this thing, and I noticed that a lot. It's like it's as if we're supposed to see everything as if like, let's say it was pleasing to the senses. Okay, the senses are sensing what they are, and it just is what it is. You don't have to like cover it up and make it into something else. And I'll tell you what, I like sounds like a rat lungworm nightmare, Moore says. The vegan milk. That's hilarious. Amor, you're so fun. You crack me up. Rat lungworm, that's a thing apparently around here. Like people get this like intense thing where they're just like sensing this nervous system thing. And yeah, I've talked to a bunch of people. It's like really intense for them and stuff. So there's this sense that it's tied to this worm. And that, like, I don't know, somehow it was traced back to this worm. It's just the same thing as COVID, though. You cannot pass a disease from one body to another. It's not really true. It's not really true. Okay, that's how it is. It's not like that. It's all emotional. And even if you like didn't clean your catchment or something like that in the illusion, that's just all part of the story. It's all part of the game. Look at it for what it is. See, the thing is, when you take this little worm, this little rat lungworm thing, and you make it the culprit, there's no healing. Okay? There's just going by that thing. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, it's not the fault of that thing. It's actually an emotional pattern being played out. And once we're willing to see that, we're willing to receive the gifts from that instead of hold on to the vibration. See? Yeah, if I think Puna could definitely make a breakthrough on that the rat lung fear guy. It's like we don't We're way more powerful than that. Nothing can get us. It's not like that. And if you get the perception that you got rat lung, great. That still doesn't make it caused by a rat or a rat, or I think is a rat and a slug and eating some rat shit. I don't know what the story is. It's some funny stuff. It reminds me of fucking a bat for COVID. COVID came and fucked a bat. So we can ask, what are you here to teach me? Yeah, totally. So all right, so back to my story about the vegan stuff. Okay. So the next week I go to this ganja party, right? And it's like, oh, I'm calling it a ganja party. That's probably like, people aren't going to like that who are putting it on. It was not a ganja party. It was a Santa Maria ceremony. But I'm partying wherever I go. That's just how I am, like all the time. And I know you guys had different ideas of what partying means. To me is I'm just there to have a good ass time, basically. So it doesn't have to do with doing any drugs or anything like that. But they served a vegan meal. So I was like, again, especially after the experience the week before, I was like, okay, well, I don't really need any food. I'm good. But got the plate anyways, because I'll try it out. This time it was all freaking good. I just ate the whole thing. This was a different chef. Like, it's definitely not because it's vegan food. It's just that, it seems like it gets things get conceptual when you are going, okay, let's see if we could just make it from these really limited ingredients too. Like, it's one thing you're already limiting it vegan, and let's just see if we can do it. And then it's like, yeah, okay, you can do it if people like to eat like that. Maybe people are going, oh, this is so good. Maybe those people eat food that normally tastes worse than that. I don't know. I mean, we all have different perspectives. And it's not like it's not like it's gonna hurt you to be authentic. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be some fear in it, of course, because you're conditioned to be a people pleaser. You're conditioned to say what people want, what you think people want you to say. Many times that's not even what they want you to say, but what you think, because it's a matter of looking for approval from people. So the other day I'm kicking back at a friend's house, and he just invited me over to have some conversation and stuff, and he made me a burger and he gave me a beer, and we were smoking spliff too. And then his girlfriend comes over. I don't know if they're boyfriend or girlfriend, but it doesn't matter. And then she comes over a couple hours later, and I'm getting ready to leave. I'm already 2 beers in, and I'm getting ready to leave. And her boyfriend asks, would you like a beer or a kombucha? And the first thing she does was look to see what I have and that's so common. That's so common. And there's nothing wrong with it. And she's a super sweet, dear friend of mine too. I just love her to pieces. We hang out together all the time. But I was just like noticing this human conditioning, this kind of human conditioning. Like, what will it look like? What will it look like? I had one friend who came up and she was talking to me, and she had a joint in her hand the whole time, but she wasn't like showing that she had a joint, because she thought that I would have a judgment about her having a joint. It's so funny because, I'm really open about smoking marijuana. I'm like super open about it, but still people just assume that I don't. I think it's the greatest. So she's standing there and she's thinking judgment. And then somehow, I don't know, so I guess I mentioned it, or I don't know how it came up, but she's like, oh gosh, I just been standing there thinking that you would judge me for smoke. And I'm just so glad to hear that, and when it comes to anything that we find ourselves doing or being drawn to or anything, that's always for the teaching learning experience. It's always for that. So these particular interactions can be drawn together. That's why there never needs to, you don't need to, but you can. So it's not a should. You don't need to, but you can. You don't need to project judgment on yourself about anything that you get a perception of yourself doing. What I have found is that all of my apparent doing leads me to exactly what I need. It's perfect. And it can't be any other way. And if you're willing to recognize the perfection in it, then you can seize the moment. And instead of spending it judging yourself, casting judgment on yourself, you can just seize the moment. How wonderful is that? So I've had some really fun conversations with people about money this week. I don't know if you guys noticed, I opened it up on my Facebook page because I started to get, I think I got two or three direct messages from people basically saying, Hope, I'm struggling with this. You know, not the same words, but basically, Hope, I'm struggling with this. And it's like, and it's like, oh, I get excited when I see something like that because the answer comes to me and I love to share it. And the answer is fun and funny. You know, it makes me smile, and it seems to make my friends smile too. So I opened it up on my Facebook page. And I said, hey, you guys, I love getting your DMs. Why don't you just let me know what you think is, you know, your problem? And feel free to reach out about that, you know, that thing. So I got people reaching out, and one theme that I noticed was money. And it's so funny. It's so simple, you guys. You do not have some money. You don't have some money. You have all the money. You have all the money in the world. And all of it is being used to awaken you from the stream. Okay? That's what it's all for. So when you get the sense, like for instance, you got scammed out of a bunch of money, and you're engaged. See, people can have a perception like this, like they get a perception like they got scammed out of a bunch of money, and all of a sudden all their spiritual teachings go boom out the window because that perception will knock them off balance. Why would have that perception be allowed to knock you off balance? Don't let it do that. It doesn't have that kind of power. See, the perception is only there, and you know, if you did allow it to knock you off balance, fine. In this moment, there is no past. There is no past. So look now. Notice how you can allow it to make it as if you've fallen somehow. You used to be so this, and then it came to this. Well, you know what? There is no used to be. And the lesson that you're learning right now is that you are innocent even in the midst of this kind of perception. So will you allow that? Will you allow that for yourself? Also taking it as if someone is capable of doing something against you. This blessing. I'm glad that dude played that role. Dude or chick, doesn't matter. Played that role of scamming me. I'm glad about that, because how else would I get to feel this that I need to feel? Because I've been scamming myself for a while now, right? The ego is powerful to make illusions that you're awakened. Okay, ego is powerful to make illusions like that. So it's really common to think you have progressed more than you have, let's say. It's really common to think that. That's why, you know, when you want to know about your progression, wait until you get a big trigger, like someone scamming you, and then you'll learn. Then you'll see about your progression, you know. And you know, it's also giving you an opportunity to accept that much more of a healing. It's like, boom, what have I been making up? Okay, it like gets to you. And you know, any kind of upset feeling is for that. Like, okay, what am I missing? If I'm getting upset, what am I missing? If someone else seems to be triggered by me, what am I missing? See? and just watch. You got something wrong. The answer is coming if you're willing to receive the answer. Okay, you guys, I have a lot of people on here. This is so fun. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand. If you want to talk to me, raise your hand. If you just want to ask a question, write it. You can write it on Zoom or you can write it on Facebook. I'm checking over there. I'm checking both places. Yeah. All right. Aloha, Natalie.
Aloha. Okay. Is that going through?
You are now permitted to talk.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. When she talks, she talks.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm going to Nael and Natalie. I'll be back with you to see if your talking works.
I think you have to hit
Oh,
unmute.
I see why I couldn't hear her. I had my volume all the way down. I'll be back to you. Aloha, Nael.
Okay. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for I had a quick question. I was trying to type it in, but I just figured I'd ask. I'd say it to you. It's quicker that way.
Okay.
My question is in morality. I carry myself, and I feed my ego. I know I feed it because I'm very moral.
Okay.
I love it. I love what I'm about because of that. That doesn't mean I don't have fun and do many things that many people would consider immoral, but I just don't hurt people. My question is, I had a couple friends ask me, like, why does this person do this or that or do this and you don't do that? And I said, because I have a moral compass. But then I'm asking myself, where did I get that? Because we came from the same background, you know what I mean? As far as the family, so there was no kind of moral compass. And then, should we have one? My question, I have multiple questions on that topic, but how do we? I know part of it is a good thing because I feel good about it, but I also see, like, I feel like it also, like, feeds my ego a little bit or a lot.
Yeah.
And then how do we navigate morality? Because my answer to myself is just don't hurt people, just don't, whether that be children or your spouse, like, don't, you don't have to be monogamous, but just don't cheat, you know what I mean? Like, just talk about it. Like,
so you're talking about a lot of things that people really don't have a choice in and calling it morality.
So myself, I don't put myself in situations because I have that code of morality.
No, that's not the reason.
Okay, why?
No, you don't find yourself in those situations because there's no teaching or learning to be done in that situation. That's the only reason you don't find yourself anywhere. You're just making up a story around it that props up your ego.
See, that's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Because I see myself, like, I don't do the things that most of my guy friends do. I do think about him. I do. I would be a liar if I didn't. I do. I do have those dirty thoughts, but I don't act upon them or ever go that route. So
okay, so you don't have a choice in that. So you don't have a choice in that.
Okay.
Okay, what you always have a choice in is between extending love or projecting condemnation. That's all.
Extending love. Okay.
Extending love or projecting condemnation. That's all you're making a choice in. That's the same as the difference between love and fear the difference between truth and illusion, the difference between heaven and hell. That's the only choice you're making all the time. And the other apparent choices are only playing out.
So how do we have, for instance, with men, I feel with me for boys. And again, maybe it's just my ego because I'm hearing it creep up right now. But how do we kind of, teach our other fellow men to like, hey, don't fuck with this girl that has her boyfriend or whatever. Don't be hitting on this person, like encourage, like if you're around me and and I know your wife, like don't fucking do that shit. Like don't be a scallywag. And I feel,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like I
I
just
know it.
like,
I know what you're saying. And what I'm telling you is that that kind of stuff is not your choice. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Like if
okay,
if you're getting spicy, if you find yourself getting spicy,
yeah,
just enjoy it.
okay,
Okay, let yourself be let yourself be kind of like an instrument, right?
mm,
Enjoy that. Don't judge it. Whatever it is that you're getting an experience of, that's
mm.
for awakening your mind. That's it. That's it. Whatever it is. Okay.
So when I judge other people for being immoral, what am I doing?
You're
Am I
making a mistake and you're attacking yourself.
okay?
Okay. Because you
What?
don't have a choice in that. That's a role you're playing.
Okay.
We're all playing different roles and they're all equally awesome, even if they look different from yours.
So am I not
Oh, and
judging?
your other question about how do you teach them? You don't worry
You
about
don't.
teaching anything because the teaching is coming out automatically. You be there for learning, and in learning, you're loving, and love teaches them.
Got it.
Okay, and
Thank you,
whatever
Hope.
words you use are perfect because
Okay.
they're not your words.
So is there such a thing as morality or not?
We make it up. It's a make believe thing. You don't need morality.
Okay.
Your spirit. You don't need morality.
I
Love
love
takes
it.
care of everything.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to get that off my chest because that was a conversation I had and I had no answer for it. And I could feel the ego creeping up. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's some ego involved in here. So,
I know. Isn't that fun?
yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Nael. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Natalie, you're up. That's fun. I got to come back to you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yay! It's us.
Okay. Oh
This is
man.
so fun.
Okay. Oh man, I'm almost like hesitant. So I jumped in on that last topic with the getting scammed out of money thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I just really I need to unravel this. So I have a lot of shame around this. So like, yeah, 2 years ago, I got like scammed out of money.
Mhm.
And like I totally see like what the teacher learner experience was, because like one level was like, oh, here's this guy, that I met online, and like all he had to do was say like every little thing that I've ever wanted a man to say to me, and next thing you know, I'm like fucking sending him thousands of dollars on PayPal. Like what the fuck? So it's like, oh
Right.
man, that was a real learning experience, right? But so I mean, I'm pretty butthurt about it, but really, like when I look back, I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing pretty good for like what I went through. So, but my thing is now, so it's like, okay, so 2 years later, and this kind of goes back to patterns. So it's like, okay, so obviously I've got this pattern where yeah, like if a guy tells me what I want to hear, like I'll be willing to like way go past my own boundaries. And so I've been like real hesitant to like put myself back out in the world and be social. Like but that doesn't feel healthy either.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have a choice in it. So you're even just thinking about something like that is making it as if there's something that you should be doing or need to be somewhere, or you don't have a choice. Like you're gonna when you need to have an interaction or a partnership with someone, it's like it just erupts. You don't have a choice. You don't need to put yourself out there. It's nothing like that. You know, all you need is to see through those patterns, to use them for what they're meant for. Use the experience for what your goal is in the moment, which you are familiar with that. You know, your goal is peace, right? Yeah. So even the thought of even questioning putting yourself out there, it's like, hold that really lightly. It's okay. It's not a problem. You know, it'll coalesce with some other thoughts and manifest something on its own without your interference.
I don't, well, like one aspect of it is like, you know, like when I have like a profound awakening where it's like, oh yeah, like I see how this was a perfect learning situation for me. And then like maybe years later, like say a decade down the line, like I could see where I'd be like what? You know, like it's almost like amnesia, like I forgot what the lesson was.
So what, you think like 10 years down the line someone does the same thing and you give them again? Yeah, who cares? Really, doesn't mean anything. That's the thing, you're making it mean something. You haven't, you know, you're not really taking it for as light as it really is. It's like, who cares? I'm curious, is that gonna happen again? I'm curious to see.
Oh God.
I wonder if this guy is gonna do that. Let's check it out. Let's watch.
Oh man. It's okay. So then what's your take on the whole you know, like, oh, vibrational match. So here's the thing, like I keep thinking like, oh, you know, I mean, I don't really feel like sitting at home on Friday nights, like Saturday nights, like twiddling my thumbs. Like I'd like to kind of put myself out there again and be social and go on some dates or something. And like, so, but I keep being like, oh, the timing's not right. I got to get in the right frame of mind. You know, I got to get in the right vibration to like attract, you know, a better vibrational match. Like, what's your take on that?
That's so cute.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's just another thought. So you can take it seriously or not. It could be funny to you or it could be serious, and the difference is huge.
Yeah, apparently.
You know, it's like when that thought occurs to you, you're getting a reaction, right? When that thought occurs to you, you're getting a reaction. So there's where it is. There's where it's at. There is nowhere to go. There is no club or wherever you think you're going. There is no going anywhere. It's an emotional journey, and when you get a sense that you can't go somewhere and you believe it, then you can't go there. See?
The learning is in the reaction. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So then you can just be curious, like you don't know if you're going to show up. A thought occurs to you. Kind of feels good to go out. And then you're just watching because you don't know if you're actually going to go out. Then another thought occurs to you. Oh, you're way off vibrationally. You don't want to go out right now. You might attract some people that are fucked up. And then you feel what that feels like and go, oh, interesting. Let's see what occurs. You know, you're just kind of like watching the play, but you're not attaching to any of the thoughts. You're not making any of the thoughts serious. You know, like even the thought, I would like to go out today. Who cares? There's no going out. So go ahead, like to go out. It could, and then you could get the perception that you went out, but you didn't go anywhere. You're apparently meeting people, but you didn't actually go anywhere. So the thing is, if you know this while you're getting the perception of these thoughts, they have no power over you. You're the one deciding whether they're meaningful.
Okay.
Isn't that so fun? You're in charge. You have dominion.
It definitely is way more fun.
Yeah, it's way more fun
than feeling like I'm like I don't know. It was just so cool. Like when I kind of stumbled across you a couple of months ago, like one of the huge ahas that was just like, oh my God, this is a game changer. It was like something that you said in one of your wisdom dialogues. It was like, oh, like I've started like looking at my life more like this literally is my movie. I'm like casting all the characters. I'm the fucking director, everything. And yeah, so I've just been sort of playing around with that mindset past couple months, and it's so much more fun, so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, everyone's doing everything for you. That is really fun.
Yeah, and I kind of like made this I like made an oath to myself. I'm like, all right, I think I'm done casting villains in my movie. and and then I was like, well, why, like why I had to come up with all these reasons. And I was like, well, fuck it, just because I don't want that anymore, like that just felt really empowering, just like because I don't want it.
Yeah, so you don't have to
That's
make anyone into that, no matter what perception you get.
yeah.
Right? You don't make them, because see, the thing is, you're not in charge of what you perceive. You're in charge of what you make of it. You're going to perceive things that completely deny your reality. You're in charge of whether you would make those things real. See?
Yeah.
You decide whether you're going to get a lesson from someone who appears to be scamming you, or make that person out to be a bad person, or make yourself out to be a shameful person for letting them take advantage of you. You decide what you're going to use it for.
Yeah.
So like, I'm glad, I get the perception that I got scammed, and I'm glad about it.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm like, I dipped my toe in that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm 100% there, but I'm real fucking close. And yeah, that's cool.
Well, maybe it just has to happen 100 more times or so. It's like however many times it needs to occur before you laugh at the fucking thing. That's all it is.
Yeah. My lucky, I'll pick a lucky number. Yeah, let's make it out to be that. My lucky number, and then it'll happen.
Right. Yeah, it's just a matter of, when you get the perception of it and being welcoming of it, like, one friend was asking me about loaning money, and I was like, well, when I supposedly loan money, I don't think of it as loaning money. I just think of it as sharing money. I don't have an idea of them supposed to pay me back or something like that. Like, it's just like, done. I'm done with that. And then if they seem to pay me back, that's great. I'm stoked. They don't seem to pay me back, it's just not a thing, because it's already released, it's already done, right? And then just making it as if someone can withhold something from us, like someone can withhold money from us, right? Is it okay to just never lend people money well, you don't have a choice in that. After consistently getting the perception of getting scammed, see, you don't have a choice in it. Of course it's okay. Whatever happens is okay. Whatever seems to happen is okay. Nothing happens, and whatever seems to happen is okay. So the ego might want you to put something up, prop something up, says, okay, that's it. I have a new rule now. I just don't loan anyone money. Well, you don't even have a choice in whether you're thinking that thought, and you don't have a choice in whether you're going to live up to it. See? That's exactly what I said to myself. Nice. Okay, that's it. Fuck them. Not loaning anyone any money anymore. People don't want to pay my ass back. I'm not loaning them any money. Right? Yeah. That's the voice. And the thing is, that's fooling yourself. You don't actually have a choice in that. So it's that thought again, that we have some money. I have some money, and this money is for whatever I fucking think I want to do with it, right? The thing is, you have all the money and it's for the same purpose, and it's your only goal. It's really your only goal. It's what you really want. That's what it's all for. And so who gives a fuck? People pay you back or not? Why do you need to be paid back? Right? It's kind of like gambling. You ever go gambling? I like going gambling. I like playing blackjack. Well, anyways, when I go gambling, I'm not thinking that I need to make money. This money is for gambling. That's what we're going to fucking do with it. If we're probably never going to see it again. If we make some money off of it, great. If someone pays you back, great. You're just playing though. You're just playing. You're playful. And then, taking people at face value. This is what, okay, this people show you how they want to play with you. People show you what they want to make of you. People show you how they want to play with you. That's what we were talking about last week when I did the one on boundaries. I titled it Boundaries. I think that was my, actually it was just Friday. It was Friday, wasn't it? That was a boundaries one, right, Ann? I think so. So, yeah. If you're getting the sense that someone's putting pressure on you to give you something, that's how they like to relate with you. Probably. You're probably reading that right. Not 100% sure, but that's probably how they want to relate with you. That's what thinking they want to relate with you like that. And they might be thinking in it from a real innocent perspective. They don't realize that they get a perception of you and automatically think about how they can use you. You're interacting with wounded people. So, people don't realize it, but they're thinking they can use you in this particular way to get this particular kind of gain. So if you're aware and you're noticing the patterns that are playing out, again, it's all patterned. You're noticing the patterns that are playing out. You know what choice you have. You can say no, thank you to that, because you recognize the pattern. And when you recognize the pattern, it could be a no thank you for that. Now, I have had the experience too, where I've recognized the pattern. I've said, it's not quite a no thank you. I still want to check that out. And I even know going into it, but I'm glad because of the lessons that come from it. What is this life for? It's like, who cares? Right? And then other ones, it's like, nah, not interested, not interesting to me. That's really where the no comes from, and where the boundary comes from. Not interesting, not for me. And you're not going to know it's not interesting unless you're aware of what patterns are being played out. See, what a lot of people do is paint a picture and see the person the way they want to see them. It's just painting another illusion over them. It's not the same as seeing through the illusion that they're a body. That's not the same thing. You got to be willing to look on the patterns to see what the intentions are for this relating. And when you see, you'll know what you're interested in, what you're not interested in. It's just that simple. See, we think we're interested in things that hurt us, and we actually do get interested in things that hurt us because the relationship looks like we want it. We thought we wanted it to be. We were painting a picture over it. We're not seeing the particular patterns that are playing and what kind of energy is being exchanged. So we end up playing in the patterns where we get the experience like we're being scammed or something like that. When I find myself going in, like kind of like you could say getting in bed with a person like that, although I'm not ever literally getting in bed with them unless it's my man, my partner, my husband. Not that I have a choice in it, but that seems to be the case so far. But once you're getting engaged with a person like that, you start to see, oh, this is the way the way we relate. This is how the patterns play. Is that interesting to you? Not all, definitely, not all the people are interesting to me to want to spend a bunch of time with all the time. That's just not how it is. And it's not a good or bad thing, really. It's not a good or bad thing. It's like our energy that we exchange with each other. It's like medicine. Like if I find myself hanging out with you, I need your medicine. basically. You got medicine for me. It's like that. So it's just like any kind of medicine, you know, like you can think of psychedelics. Let's say if you're proceeding of psychedelics as medicine, right? Or essential oils medicine. It's like any kind of medicine. It could get to where it's being used to project delusions, or it could just be used like that the whole time, you know. And what is that? What is that? Does it mean you need to be in ceremony or something? No, it doesn't mean you need to start a ceremony in order to take a psychedelic, for instance. It's just that whatever you're using, if there's a relationship, if there's anything, use it for awakening your mind. Use it as a means for that, rather than as a means for getting what you want. That's really the difference between that relationship or thing, essential oil, whatever, being being sinful or being healing. Really, the difference is whether you would use it to project fear or extend love. That's really the difference. Whether or not being used as something that's sinful or something that's healing. It's really the means that you would use it for. And you don't have a choice in anything. One of my friends wrote me, this was a really fun one. She went to an AA meeting. It was so cute. So she went to an AA meeting. She's like, wow, that did not resonate with me. People are telling me I'm diseased. They're telling me I'm this and that just doesn't resonate with me at all. But I really do feel like I want to drink less. And here's the thing, you guys, what thinks it wants to drink less? You're not going to believe this probably. It's the ego that thinks it wants to drink less. Okay. The thought, you're not drinking any alcohol. You're actually not drinking any alcohol. But when you get the perception of yourself drinking alcohol and you would use it to condemn yourself, that's what creates this addictive kind of perception. There's no addiction to alcohol. It's an addiction to thought. It's addiction to condemning yourself. Okay. So when you drink the alcohol or you get a perception, remember, you're not really drinking alcohol. You're getting a perception that you're drinking alcohol. And if you're using that to condemn yourself, it's going to look a couple different ways. Either it's going to make it so you crave alcohol more. Okay. And you find yourself drinking it, or you're going to find yourself being very self-righteous and pious and kind of like pissed, like those AA folks that are sober now. And when they look at anyone who drinks any amount of alcohol, they must be an alcoholic now. You know, it's like you can go from one extreme to the other like that. It's never going to be satisfying. It's really never going to be satisfying. Okay. If you find that you're consuming any substance and you seem to be consuming that substance too much in your mind, let that be a sign that you need compassion right there. You didn't do that. You're not doing that. You're viewing it. There's a huge difference if you are viewing that thing. If you get that, none of this shit is going to be a problem for you ever again. And you will get that at some point in time. Okay. Addiction to alcohol is an addiction to condemning oneself. Well, yeah, there's no addiction to alcohol because there's actually no alcohol. There's no such thing as a physical addiction. I don't care if it could be measured because there is no physical. And that's all based on measurements in the first place. Okay. That we can perceive a physical. We thought we were capable of measuring ourselves. All right. So there's no such thing as addiction to alcohol or any other kind of substance. We use that word wrong. The only thing we can be addicted to is condemning ourselves. And then that comes out in a form that looks like and feels like an addiction. We do it to ourselves. We love it. We think it's freaking funny. And there's profits to be made off of that for sure. There's all the profit mongering that people talk about in the world and everything like that. There is profits to be made off of you being fearful, you being guilty. And, there is an interest in propagating those ideas, those very ideas. You're contagious, you're sick, you're guilty, you're shameful, you're angry, you're bad, you're mean. Okay. So all that's being asked is for you to be willing to have your innocence restored. Really. I mean, I could say it a million different ways. It comes down to the same thing. All addiction, self-condemnation. Yep. I'm addicted to wisdom dialogues. Hooray. Well, like I said before, whatever you like, you can keep it. If you like wisdom dialogues, yay. Okay. You like a perceived addiction to wisdom dialogues? Cool. You can keep that. It's not upsetting you. Still, you're holding it lightly. In your heart that you can't really get addicted to anything. You just freaking you recognize the truth. I'm not even telling you anything new. When something resonates with you, you recognize the truth because you already know it. You just needed to hear it coming from a source that seemed to be outside of yourself. And that could seem like really something that's really inspiring, something that's really fun. If your goal is awakening, and you have someone just sharing with you what you already know, but you were kind of like hiding it from yourself, and you want to wake up to it, yeah. Enjoy. I'm having fun too. I get a wisdom dialogues every time I hear the shit that comes out of my mouth. What's the solution to self-condemnation again? Well, you're getting a feeling reaction. You're getting a reaction to that. So let yourself get the reaction to that. That's what it feels like to think that thought is true. Once you think that thought, and it's you're not really capable of thinking it, let's say, but once you get a perception of that thought and it's hilarious for you, it's a completely different thing. It changed. It's not self-condemnation anymore. You just took all the power out of it. You just took all the wind out of it because you thought it was funny. I used to hear, and who knows, maybe I'll hear it again because I like comedy. Hope, you are such a fuck up. and Hope, you are such a jackass. Just like things like that. Like, it'll actually say my name and say how fucked up I am. And you get to where it's funny. It's not a problem. And when it's funny, you stop hearing it because it's not, it needs that play. But when I remember hearing it, I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, that could pop up anytime, and it is funny. It's not like I mind it. It's not like, oh, I don't want that thought, or I never get that thought anymore. I don't know. It could come to me. I don't mind. I'm glad. I get a lot of stupid ass thoughts occurring to me, and I'm happy about it because, and a lot of the times I even get hooked on them. I'll get hooked on them for like a short amount of time. And a lot of the times I'll get hooked and I'll know I'm hooked, but I'll still be not willing to let go of it. I'll still be like, I want to keep that though, and just dig it in a little further, just for a few minutes. See how it feels. Okay. Hooray, everyone. Okay, so you guys, anyone have any more questions? You got a hand? We got a hand. Who's handing? Who's putting their hand up here? Oh, how fun. It's Yulia. Yulia, it's always such a pleasure to hear from you.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, Hope,
Yay.
and with everyone else.
Yay.
So I was thinking again, seems like I know the answers, blah, 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 but still hearing it from Hope somehow is a lot more fun, and seems to be enlightening too.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the story that's been going on. I mean, it's a lifetime story, but recently.
Oh, I know your stories.
No, you don't know all my stories. Hold on.
You got anything that's new? Oh yeah, you got anything that's new today?
Yeah, I got my mom. Forget my kid.
All right, go ahead. I'm done talking over you.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I talk over people all the time. I can't help it. I don't know how. So yeah, I've been finding in the where I get triggered and I condemned her in my mind. I'm constantly condemning her. I'm judging her. I'm angry at her. I perceive her as a freaking villain. The story is that I can't talk to her about anything. Like if I wants something different than from what she wants, or disagree with something, that's the freaking end of the world. It's going to turn into a nightmare because she will do her things, you know, that I perceive as evil.
Yeah. Okay. This is your mom.
Yes, that's about my mom. And that my kids are also involved. Like, for example, there's this story that's, it's a really stupid story, but everything starts with stupid little stories.
Yeah, it's stupid stuff.
It's about a kitchen sponge. It's about what to do with this kitchen sponge when not in use. According, yeah, I know. Can you believe
I
the
love
drama,
it.
the tragedy?
Yeah, I know. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, it's a universal drama. So she
Yeah.
wants it in the sink and wet for some reason, and we want it out of the sink and drying. And she thinks then the counter gets wet or something, whatever, and it just becomes a freaking drama and tragedy. And somehow it's always that my mom has to have her way, it seems. And then I feel like a victim, and I feel angry and shit like that.
What fun.
I know. Ha. I just came to complain to
I,
you.
you know what? I love power struggles because that's the most fun. You know, it's like whatever it is for me, it's the most fun in the moment. Let's just put it that way. But there's a sense that that two people want things to be different. You just keep on relaxing and then see how that manifests. You might find yourself standing up and say, you know what? Fuck you, mom. This is my house and we do it my way. You know, you don't know. You know, just kind of like being curious. Like I'm not giving you any advice or anything on it. It's just like it's just like that occurred to me. Like anything could be the case. You're just like relaxing the energy, like letting go of any kind of judgment about how you might act about it, and kind of like having fun with it. It's like, oh, there's a power struggle here. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I know. It is a power struggle. It's a constant power struggle. And the thing is, I invited them to come here, and we've decided that this is our house. It's a big house, but
Mhm.
some things are shared, you know, and you can't
Yeah.
avoid it.
Yeah.
So, and and you know, one of the things my mom does, she was like, "Oh, why did we ever come here? Why? La 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 la! I should have not. I should have done this. You know, I should just
Oh
die.
my,
You know."
that's so cute. You guys get like little trigger parties going.
Oh
And you
yeah,
actually start
yeah.
saying a bunch of shit like that. That is so fun.
And then my kids and my mom and my dad. I mean, the only person that's so far spared is my husband, but that's because, you know, she doesn't do that to people that are not her immediate family most of the time. And if she wants to say something about him, she'll go through me.
Okay, so she's not doing anything to anyone.
Yeah, that's right.
That's number one. So you get a sense, because when you grow up with someone and you spend all this time with them, your patterns are familiar to each other. So you play these patterns in a familiar way with one another. So your mom will run a certain kind of energy and you're automatically reacting. These are your patterns interplaying. So get really curious about the patterning, because you're going to start to see how you're playing into that with your energy. You'll see how you get upset and then you go along with the patterning instead of realizing, oh, this is a pattern. And when you find yourself in a pattern, just relax your energy, relax. That whole power struggle thing will take care of itself too. You just being curious about how, curious and playful about how it's going to go, because it actually doesn't matter how it goes. So, you know, keeping in mind that it actually doesn't matter too. It allows you to be curious and playful, and you'll see that that if you're attentive to the situation, you're not allowing yourself to get caught up in games like, oh, this is terrible. Because whenever your mom's freaking out like that, it's like, oh shit, this is terrible, right? So you want to be able to see right through that this thing is terrible. That's the perception when people are getting triggered. Oh my god, it's the worst. It's like, oh my god, this is the best. Okay, time to be alert. You know, like
Mhm,
wherever people think
mhm.
it's the worst, that's where for the spirit, it's the best, and you are the spirit. So in recognizing this is the best, oh, there's a power struggle, this is the best. Oh,
Mhm.
you know, and irrespective about how you're acting, whatever your acting is, that's all being shown to you. It's being viewed by you, not done by you. And certainly no one's doing anything to you. But you're so powerful. Your mind is so powerful to make illusions that you can make it so that you just stay locked in that pattern for like a million more fucking lifetimes with your mom doing this bullshit. Like at some point, you just got to stand up and be like, wait a minute, that's a pattern. I'm not playing into that just with my own energy. I'm not playing into that. I see that. It seems like she's doing something to me and that hurts. It seems like she's disappointed in me now. She's saying she never should have come here. You know, whatever the fucking story is, just get that sensation, get that feeling, and know that you want to use it for awakening. You don't want to use it for anything else. You don't want to use it for getting the sponge situation the way you want it to be, even though you might get a perception of yourself acting like it's important to you. So you know beneath the surface that it's not, it's only a game and you're playing a pattern. So your whole thing is you want to see that this is a pattern you're playing and it's not your reality. It's absolutely not your reality. That's what looking at the pattern and watching the pattern play out and getting your feelings is going to reveal to you.
So that's what relaxing my energy is.
Yes. It's not controlling yourself. It's not controlling yourself. That's a common misperception. You don't want to try to control yourself to make yourself into a nice or spiritual person. You suck at that. You're not good at it.
No, that doesn't work. I've tried that many times.
Yeah. Well, good. Maybe you're done with that now.
I know. For years, you're like, you prepare yourself, I'm this, I'm that, I'm observing, I'm not responding. And then, like, you find yourself just playing a game in a slightly different way.
Yes.
Being pissed off in a spiritual way.
Yeah. I mean, when you get the sense that you're pissed off, that is an intense energy. And you could say it's like a forward motion. You get a sense that you're getting pissed off. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. What hurts your mind is when you prop up the supposed reasons you think you're pissed off. When you prop those things up, that's where it hurts your mind. When you're alert and you're just watching, you may seem to be acting out as if something else pissed you off, but in your watching, that's where the action, the real action, is taking place. It's in that observation of it. That's where the action and the healing is taking place. So it's like it gets your self-analyzing hat off. Take that hat off.
It's always easy when you visualize how the situation is going to happen and how you're going to be in it. But when you're in it, you're like playing in it. You're like,
that's right. You're playing
busy acting the part and believing it,
That's
like
right.
a very good actor.
Yes. And so if you would be willing to watch that without judgment, however you're playing the part, even in the part, be willing to watch that, just watching it without judgment, that you are playing a part, and watch when you're using that sense of anger, fear, however it's coming up for you. Yeah, watch how you're using that sense. Watch if you're trying to use it to get a better place in the world, or if you're using it to see through it. To see through it, you got to be feeling it. Through all the actions, through all the words, you got to be feeling it. Okay? Just don't run from it. Be vigilant in keeping your awareness on how it feels, and you'll see through very quickly. And while you have your awareness on how it feels, you also can't be chasing thoughts around about what you'll use to prop up that upset feeling.
There's a whole cocktail of things to prop up the upset feeling.
Of course, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to. And when you find yourself doing it, you can turn your attention back to the feeling again and again. That's that little bit of willingness, really. I don't think I've ever seen where A Course in Miracles actually puts it that way, but that's the little bit of willingness that it's talking about. You're just willing to go into what's the effect of this. The first effect of an erroneous thought is an upset feeling. So it's like, what is the effect of thinking like this? And if you're curious and aware of that, you're going to love playing out your patterns. You're going to see how you're going to see how fickle an upset feeling is. For one thing, you won't be able to hold on to it. It'll go away.
I know. I felt like I was almost starting to see a little bit of light in it recently, thinking that wait a minute, I'm the one who gives this the power, the authority to upset me somehow.
Yes, that's right. So you reclaim the authority in your mind. When you just reclaim the authority and you just know that you're upsetting yourself, no one else is doing that to you, that is huge. The thing is, for me, and it might be the same for you, I don't know, when I tune in to how that thought makes me feel, that's when I know I can't hold on to that much longer. Even if I'm not willing to give it up right now, I know I won't be holding on to that much longer. Once I see how it makes me feel.
Rotten feeling.
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Hope.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate
Love
you so
very
much.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
I love you. Yay. Okay, so this will be posted to YouTube. I'm also hopejohnson.org. I take donations. I'm really happy if you guys want to send me a donation or not. I don't give a shit. I'm not one of those people who's like, I need you guys to show me that this has value. I'm totally good with putting it out before you guys realize how fucking valuable it is. Okay. And it has value way beyond any amount of money you can ever donate or anything like that. It doesn't seem like I need to be supported. I would let you guys know if it seemed like, okay, you guys, if I don't get support, Wisdom Dialogues is fucking gone. Okay. It's not like that. Still, I love getting donations. You want to donate to me, hopejohnson.org. There's a donate tab there. You can also check out my book from there. You can also check out my essential oil company, Miracle Botanicals, the best essential oils on the planet. Yes, I'm making that story up. And I have a very good background story for it too. So, we love essential oils. That's the story. We love essential oils, and we know how to source the best ones that the world has to offer. So that's what we do. miraclebotanicals.com. Other than that, follow me on Telegram. I'm on Telegram, Awakening with Hope, @Awakening with Hope, I think it is. Instagram, Awesome Hope Johnson. And if you want to send me an email, you can, hopejohnson@me.com. Go ahead and tell me about your supposed problems over there too. I love responding to you. The answer just comes to me. It's super easy to get back with you guys. And if you're tuned in with me, you're probably gonna have a smile on your face by the end of that thing. No promises on that though. You guys usually do. You're pretty open and awesome. So yeah, I'll be back. I don't have any plans to take any time off from Wisdom Dialogues. I do have my some of my family visiting. If something comes up where I'm like, okay, we're gonna plan to hang out with them, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'll let you guys know on my channels at some point, but I think I'm gonna be doing it. And we'll see how it goes. Yay. I love you. Thank you, everyone. Let me just see if anyone has any more questions. Nope, we're good. Okay. Yay. Aloha. Mahalo. Ahui ho.